Guys, what's going on? My name's Ryan. I trade ETFs and I like to make videos to show some of the technical analysis that I'm seeing in the market. So today we've got TLT representing our iShares 20 plus year treasury bonds. And let's get started in the technical analysis. So here in the weekly, we can see that we have a fairly well-defined channel, which marks some fairly hard support and resistance zones, and a very interesting recent uptrend. So let's go to the daily and take a look at that uptrend. I drew a line for Fibonacci to mark some support and resistance zones here, starting from our absolute low down here to our absolute high. And we can see that this is what pops out. It looks like we were supported here at this 38.2% range here back in early 2017. We can see that this has been previous support and resistances for a long time now, so it makes sense for us to stop and consolidate in this range. And this black line here marks some support on our way up. And this was our previous absolute low for the trend, and this was our breakout point, which coincides with our 50% fib level. So once we broke out above this 50% fib level convincingly, it's basically a straight shot up to the 61.8% level. Let's go to the 2% 2 hour, and we can see some very interesting patterns taking place here. We see that we have this nice cup and handle over here. We broke out above this trend, then we fell back down and kind of set in this rounded bottom, and we came back up here, flagged out for a second, and formed our handle. And then we shot up above it. This line right here from the high point to the previous high, or this lower high level, was our neckline. And once we broke out above our neckline, we see continued moves higher. Now, as far as a measured move for a cup and handle chart goes, you go from the low to the middle high, and you clone this and you drag it over here to the point of breakout, which would be our neckline breakout. And so I just did that. I clone this, I drag this here, and this would be our overall measured move, would be right here in this range over here. So from the 2 hour, let's go to the 1 hour. I see a newer interesting pattern taking place. Again, I just have these measured moves here. I just deleted the cup and handle because I thought it was somewhat distracting, but I left the measured moves here. We have this new uptrend you can kind of see forming here, marked by this area of resistance, this channel. Clone that, bring this down. This is our support level. And we can see we're at a straight shot up to this target price here, which is about 127.50. New interesting pattern that I'm seeing here is this pennant. It's a fairly well-defined pennant, and I'd be very interested in seeing what happens here over the course of next week, whether we're going to move higher or come back and test this previous support line. Onto the 30-minute, we can kind of see the shape of the pennant take place. We come up here, this is our resistance line, this is our support line, and we continue to move higher ever since. Quickly going back to the hour chart, I wanted to just show you this gap here. So there, we gap up here from 124.40 all the way up here to 125.90. So this is an important thing to keep in mind, is that gaps usually like to be filled at one point. So it makes sense for us to kind of fall back down and fill this gap. However, given the pennant, I think this is a very bullish continuation pattern, and it gives me more reason to believe that we're going to come up here and reach our target price. This is a halfway measured move type pattern, and what we do is we draw our flag, which starts right here all the way to the high. We clone this, and we bring it over here to our apex point, which is when these 2 points converge, and from that point we draw it upwards, which would reach our measured move from the cup and handle, as well as the measured move from our pennant. Both occur at about the exact same place, which is interesting to take note of. It's nice to see when action on the price patterns and your measured moves coincide with each other. As far as an ABCDE pattern goes within a bullish pennant, we come up here, resistance, support, this is A, B, C, D, E, and what I expect to happen is we just hit our B. I can see us drifting down slightly, hitting our C, D, E, and then moving up higher. One very interesting thing to note is that our RSI is still extremely strong. Even though we've been moving sideways, we haven't even come down to touch this 50 level here in our RSI. This is very reassuring. I basically don't see any divergences of any sort going on in the price action, which is also reassuring from a bullish perspective. Let's see if I have anything in the 15-minute. So this is the pattern that I'm seeing play out for TLT, iShares 20 plus year treasury bonds. And we have this cup and handle, breakout, pennant, and we're expecting a continuation move. And it's nice to see that our continuation move here falls at the same measured move as we have from our cup and handle. So 2 measured moves coinciding with a higher price point, and I can see us coming up to the top of this channel here before we see any bearish sentiment at all. All the indicators are strong, there are no divergences, and I'll be very interested in seeing the future price action for bonds in the coming weeks. If you like this video, please like and subscribe for weekly updates. It really helps me out a lot. Good luck trading bonds next week, and happy Father's Day.